All right, let's take a look at an exercise on how to analyze common size balance sheets. We're going to have another exercise that will show us how to analyze common size income statements. Now, in our particular exercise that we're going to be doing, we're using the same company. We're using Target, and we're comparing two different fiscal years. And so, common size analysis is not always that useful when we're using the same company. What we will often do is we will use this process, which is a form of vertical analysis, to compare two different countries, and specifically sometimes companies that are different in size. Okay, but we can still do this for the same company. That's not a problem because we still have to learn how to do it. So what are we looking for? Because the math, so to speak, in this is pretty darn basic. So, what we're looking for as we go through and compute all of these numbers is we are looking for outliers. That's what we're looking for. And there might be some outliers, there might not be. And depending on what that outlier is, or, in other words, most of our accounts are going to be pretty similar from one year to the next as far as the percentage that we're going to be looking at. But there might be something important that has changed dramatically and deserves some attention. Okay, so as we look through here, we're going to be using two numbers, and it's actually the same number. We're going to analyze asset items using a base of total assets, and we're going to be analyzing liabilities and equity items using total liabilities and equity. So, if you think about it, we could just use total assets for all of these balance sheet items, or we could use total liabilities and shareholder investment. It says total liabilities and shareholders investment. Probably better to say equity there. We could use either one of those numbers, and it's going to be the same because it's a balance sheet, and assets must equal liabilities and equity, right? So we're going to be focusing on $38,999 for the year 2018 and $37,431 for year 2017. Okay, so here's what I decided to do. In the interest of time, I have filled out all of 2018, and we're just going to basically do a little bit of practice with this. We're going to pull the calculator over here, hopefully, and we're going to calculate a few of these. So I have all of the answers already for 2018, and I'm going to show you how we got there, and then you are going to do 2017 on your own. Okay, so I'm going to just look at a handful of these. The first item down here is cash and cash equivalents. Now this was blank, and I've already calculated this, but all I have to do to get this figure is go up here and take this 2643 as my numerator, and then I'm going to take total assets as my denominator. Okay, I hit equal, and notice the instructions say round your answers to one decimal place, and so they kind of give us an example of that. So notice that I put 6.8%, 0.0677 rounds to 6.8. Okay, and we could do this for any item. Notice that whenever we get down here to total assets, I'm actually using the answer is 100% because 38,999 divided by 38,999 is going to be 1, or 100%. All right. So that's really all there is to this. As we go down, we can look at some different numbers. For example, accounts payable, I have it as 22%. Well, that's great. How did I get that? Well, I came over here and I looked at accounts payable, 8677 divided by 38,999, and that's going to give me, let me expand this out some, 22.2, and then the 4 we would round down to 2, so 22.2%, and there's that figure right here. All right. And then so what we're hoping to accomplish with this, and this is not really part of the exercise necessarily, because all this exercise wants us to do is just do some basic division and convert our answers into a percentage. But as we go down through here, we're going to compare all the numbers in this column to all the numbers in this column, and we're going to ask ourselves, okay, are there any significant differences? And if there are, then we can, we can kind of look, we can kind of look into the reasons as to why. But oftentimes, rather than looking at 2 different years, again, we'll be looking at 2 different companies. And if those companies are have huge size differences, well, I can tell you right now, whenever larger companies versus smaller companies, there are going to be some differences, but key ratios should be within a certain range, and so we use common-sized balance sheets and income statements as a means of either comparing year-to-year figures or comparing two businesses, often businesses that are not similar in size. So I'll let you complete 2017 on your own now that you know how I did that. And if you get into any kind of trouble, you can look over here and say, okay, well, how did he get 10.9% or 0.7%? And you can come up here and figure it out using the figures in 2018, and that'll help you get all of 2017 done as well. All right, that's it for this video.